Hello, I'm Keith Haywood. Welcome once again to a thought for the day from St Anne's Church, Chasetown, for Saturday the 20th of June. When planning a journey, I wonder how often you use one of these to plan your route. I suspect not so often as you used to, now that we have phones and sat-navs and GPS systems. Well, I recall some years ago, in the days when I was totally reliant on a paper map for my journeys, my wife and I were holidaying in Cornwall with our 3 young boys. One of them, who was 8 years old at the time, had just joined the Cub Scouts. On one of our journeys, and wishing to encourage him in his new venture, I handed him the map and told him that as a Cub Scout, one of the skills he would need was map reading. So I pointed on the map to where we currently were, and then I pointed to where we needed to get to, and told him, by using his map reading skills, to take us there. So off we set, with my son telling me to turn right or left at each turning. However, as we approached one particular junction, he told me to turn right. Now, having planned the journey in my own mind, I questioned him as to whether he meant turn right, or did he really mean turn left. However, he was insistent that we needed to go right. While not convinced, I pulled the car over to the side and asked him to let me have a look at the map. This small 8-year-old boy held firmly onto the map, looked directly at me and said, "Dad, trust me." Suddenly my destiny was in the hands of this young boy. Although I was behind the wheel, he was in control. So off I set, doing what I was told. And guess what? He was right. It's not always easy to fully trust someone, is it? Because to say we trust someone is really saying, "over to you." And that's often rather scary. Over the past 12 weeks, we've been asked to trust the advice of health experts, people we don't even know, to see us through this pandemic. We may not always have welcomed their advice, but by and large we've adhered to it for the good of all. There's a verse in the Old Testament book of Proverbs that invites us to trust in God with the promise he won't let us down. Proverbs chapter 3 and verses 5 and 6 says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own insight. In all you do, recognize his presence and he will lead you in the right direction." Some years ago, I came across this book by John Ortberg. If you want to walk on water, you've got to get out of the boat. I initially bought it because I was fascinated by the title. It's based on the account in Matthew's Gospel where Jesus is walking on the water towards his disciples in their boat in the midst of a storm, and he summoned for Peter to join him. Well, Peter had 2 choices: to stay inside the safety and security of the boat, or to put his trust in Jesus and step out onto the stormy waters. Peter decided on the latter, stepped out of the boat, walked on the water with Jesus, and experienced what was probably the greatest thrill of his life. Now that's trust. A prayer. Loving and trusting Lord, it's sometimes hard to let go of our own desires and put our trust in others. When we're not sure in who we can trust, give us the assurance that we can always trust you, in the knowledge that you will never let us down. Amen.